What if the vegetables on your dinner plate, ones you've trusted for decades, were silently stealing your strength, balance, and memory? You've done everything right. You eat your vegetables, avoid junk food, and try to stay active. But after 60, the body changes, and so do its needs. Some vegetables that used to fuel your health may now be quietly draining it. You might think that morning stiffness, foggy thinking, or unsteady steps are just part of aging. But what if the real problem is what's still on your plate? Today's video uncovers 3 popular vegetables that can worsen inflammation, weaken circulation, and even increase your risk of falls, especially if you're over 50. And the good news, will also show you 3 powerful science-backed alternatives that can protect your joints, boost your energy, and help you stay sharp and mobile. Don't just eat healthy, eat smart. Stay with us because one small change could mean a stronger, steadier, more confident you. If this video speaks to you, give it a like, subscribe for more trusted health insights, and share your thoughts in the comments. Let's age powerfully together. Part 1, 3 vegetables to avoid after 60. They may seem harmless, even healthy, but these 3 common vegetables can quietly fuel inflammation, raise blood sugar, and damage your circulation. If you're over 60, eating them regularly could be making your joints stiffer, your balance weaker, and your energy lower. In this section, we'll reveal what they are, why they're risky, and how small changes can protect your health. Number 1. White potatoes, the sweet villain that wrecks your blood vessels. For years, Harold thought he was eating smart. Mashed potatoes at dinner, baked potatoes on Sundays, the occasional fries as a treat. They were warm, comforting part of his routine and reminded him of family dinners from decades ago. But at 72, Harold started waking up with stiff knees. His feet felt cold, almost numb. Getting down the stairs in the morning felt like walking on stilts. He thought maybe it's just old age, but it wasn't. White potatoes, especially in older adults, can quietly become one of the worst foods on your plate. Why? Because despite their friendly appearance, they're loaded with fast-burning starch, what your body treats like sugar. According to the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, foods high on the glycemic index, like white potatoes, cause rapid spikes in blood sugar followed by sharp crashes. This roller coaster stresses your blood vessels, especially the small capillaries in your legs, brain, and heart. Over time, it leads to inflammation in the places you need to stay strong and steady. And here's the real issue: white potatoes don't offer much in return. They're pale for a reason, low in antioxidants, low in fiber, and missing the compounds your aging body needs to protect itself from oxidative stress. No beta-carotene, no vitamin C, just sugar-like starch in disguise. Harold's doctor noticed the signs right away: poor circulation in the legs, sluggish nerve signals, blood pressure creeping up. And when they reviewed Harold's meals, the pattern was clear. Night after night, he was flooding his system with inflammatory starch, topped with butter, sour cream, salt, sometimes even bacon bits. A recipe for stiff joints, foggy thinking, and higher fall risk. White potatoes don't just weigh you down. They can quietly choke your blood flow, making your legs feel heavier, your balance less reliable, your memory a little fuzzier, and all while you think you're eating a safe, wholesome food. But Harold made one small shift. He swapped his mashed potatoes for steamed broccoli, added a drizzle of olive oil, some garlic, a pinch of sea salt. 2 weeks later, his feet felt warmer, less swelling in the ankles. His knees didn't creak when he stood up from the recliner. He even said, "I stopped dreading the stairs." If you're over 60 and still relying on white potatoes as a dinner staple, it might be time to rethink it, because every forkful could be silently working against your independence. Your body isn't asking for less food. It's asking for better food that fuels blood flow, steadies your energy, and keeps you on your feet. White potatoes, they had their time, but now they might just be the sweet villain holding you back. Number 2, eggplant, the silent trigger behind joint pain and numb legs. Linda loved her roasted vegetables, especially eggplant. It looked elegant on the plate, grilled with a touch of olive oil, soft in the center, rich in flavor. She'd been told for years that eggplant was part of a healthy plant-based diet, so she ate it often. But slowly, something changed. Her knees felt swollen in the mornings. Getting out of bed became harder. Some days she hesitated before using the stairs, not because of fear, but because her legs didn't feel ready, heavy, sluggish, like they weren't getting the message from her brain fast enough. What Linda didn't know was that eggplant belongs to a group of vegetables called nightshades. Along with tomatoes, peppers, and white potatoes, nightshades contain a natural compound called solanine a chemical plants use to defend themselves from insects. But in the human body, especially one that's aging, solanine can act as a low-level irritant. Not strong enough to cause a full allergic reaction, but just enough to quietly inflame joints, muscles, and even nerves. Research published in Inflammopharmacology found that solanine can increase inflammatory markers in people with joint conditions like arthritis. And here's what makes it tricky: the damage builds slowly. You don't eat eggplant and feel pain the next hour. It's more subtle, a little more stiffness each day, a little less confidence when walking on uneven ground, until one day you realize your reflexes have slowed down and your legs don't respond like they used to. Linda's doctor ran tests, nothing dangerous, but nothing helpful either. Her blood work looked fine. Her scans showed normal aging. Still, she knew something wasn't right. Then came the food review, and there it was: grilled eggplant, roasted eggplant, baba ganoush, almost every week. Her doctors suggested removing eggplant for a few weeks, just as an experiment. Linda was skeptical, but she gave it a try. And in just 10 days, she noticed something: less pressure in her knees, a lightness in her legs. She climbed the porch steps without holding the rail. It wasn't a miracle, it was a shift. Solanine doesn't affect everyone the same way. But if you're over 60, and especially if you've got arthritis, joint stiffness, or nerve discomfort, cutting out eggplant may be worth a trial. Because it's not just about the pain, it's about trust. Can you trust your legs to hold you? Can you walk without second-guessing every step? Can you move through your day without that dull, dragging ache? You don't need to cut out all nightshades. But eggplant, if your body's sending you signals, heaviness, numbness, slowness, it might be time to listen. Sometimes the healthiest looking foods are the ones quietly wearing you down. Number 3, green bell peppers, the healthy looking culprit behind gut trouble and brain fog. Tom loved crunch. He tossed green bell peppers into salads, sliced them for snacks, stir them into every dinner. They were cheap, fresh, and packed with color, so they had to be good for him. That's what he thought. But as he moved into his 60s, Tom started noticing something strange: bloating that wouldn't go away. A foggy kind of forgetfulness, names slipping his mind keys going missing, focus harder to hold on to. His stomach would feel off after meals, like something wasn't settling. He blamed it on aging, or maybe stress, but neither explanation really fit. Here's what most people don't know: green bell peppers are loaded with lectins, natural proteins that plants use as a defense system. In theory, lectins are harmless, but in aging bodies where the gut lining is already thinner, slower to repair, they can quietly become a problem. Lectins bind to the wall of your intestines. They can block nutrient absorption, irritate your gut lining, and trigger something called increased intestinal permeability. Doctors call it leaky gut. It's not just a buzzword, it's real. And it means that tiny food particles, toxins, and bacteria slip into your bloodstream. What happens next? A slow, silent immune response. Low-grade inflammation that simmers day after day. And where does that inflammation go? Your joints, your nerves, your brain. According to research published in Nutrients 2020, chronic gut inflammation is linked to cognitive decline in older adults. Not in some future sense, but now. Memory lapses, brain fog, feeling off even when everything looks fine on paper. Green peppers are also unripe. They haven't developed the antioxidants found in red, yellow, or orange bell peppers. So while they look vibrant and fresh, they're actually lower in vitamin C, beta-carotene, and protective compounds. Less defense, more risk. Tom had no idea a food that seemed so clean could be causing so much trouble. But when his daughter, who worked in nutrition, suggested cutting green peppers for a few weeks, he gave it a shot. No fancy diets, just that one change. And 2 weeks later, he felt it. Less gas, more clarity. His thinking felt sharper, his stomach quieter. He swapped in red peppers instead. Richer in antioxidants, sweeter, easier on digestion, and just as versatile. Green bell peppers aren't bad, but for some bodies, especially after 50, they can be the wrong fit. And the scary part, you don't feel the damage until it's already underway. You feel bloated but don't know why. You lose focus and think it's just stress. You move slower and assume it's your age. But sometimes it's the smallest thing on your plate making the biggest mess in your system. So if you're eating green peppers often and dealing with brain fog, digestive trouble, or joint sensitivity, try removing them. Give your body space to breathe, then listen. Because sometimes what looks fresh is quietly working against your health. And what you leave off your plate may matter just as much as what you put on it. Part 2, 3 vegetables to eat for better joints, memory and circulation. Not all vegetables are created equal, especially after 60. These 3 power-packed veggies do more than fill your plate. They fight inflammation, boost blood flow, and support sharper thinking. In this section, you'll discover the smart choices that protect your joints, fuel your brain, and keep you steady on your feet so you can move through life with more strength and confidence. Number 1, carrots, the gatekeeper of clear vision and steady legs. Barbara never gave carrots much thought. They were just there, chopped in stews, sliced into salads, served as a side next to roast chicken. Simple, familiar, sweet enough to enjoy without guilt. But it wasn't until her eyesight started slipping that she learned just how powerful they could be. At 68, she began noticing dimmer nights. Street signs got harder to read. The print on her phone seemed smaller by the day. She'd freeze for a moment at staircases, not because she couldn't walk, but because she couldn't see the step clearly enough to trust it. It wasn't blindness, but it was enough to shake her confidence. Then came the conversation with her optometrist. Age-related vision decline. Early signs of macular degeneration. No need for panic, but it was time to take action. And one of the simplest changes, eat more carrots. Carrots are loaded with beta-carotene, a plant compound your body converts into vitamin A, the key nutrient for healthy vision, especially in low-light conditions. According to the National Eye Institute, diets rich in beta-carotene can reduce the risk of age-related macular degeneration, which affects nearly 1 in 3 adults over 65. But carrots don't stop at helping your eyes. They protect your nerves, especially the ones that control your legs. Beta-carotene and other antioxidants in carrots fight oxidative stress, the process that damages cells and slows down nerve communication between your brain and muscles. When that communication slows down, your balance suffers. Your reflexes lag. A simple, uneven sidewalk becomes a fall waiting to happen. Barbara added carrots to her routine. Raw in the afternoon with hummus, steamed with dinner, even shredded into morning oatmeal with cinnamon and nuts. In just a few weeks, she noticed a shift. Less squinting at night, more confidence on her feet, that hesitation on stairs gone. She didn't just see better, she moved better. Carrots are also rich in lutein, another antioxidant that supports retinal health, and they're naturally anti-inflammatory, helping calm the silent swelling that affects joints, nerves, and blood vessels as we age. Best of all, they're affordable, easy to find. No need for exotic superfoods or pricey supplements. Just 1 handful of carrots a day is enough to make a difference. And how you prepare them matters. Lightly steaming retains nutrients while softening the texture for easier chewing. Roasting with olive oil helps your body absorb more beta-carotene, but avoid overcooking. Too much heat can break down the antioxidants. If your vision's getting fuzzy, if your balance feels off, if you found yourself slowing down on stairs or hesitating in dim rooms, carrots might be more than just a snack. They might be your first line of defense. Because sometimes the simplest foods are the smartest ones. And 1 bright orange vegetable can help keep you clear-eyed, steady-footed, and confidently independent. Number 2, broccoli, the green shield for brain and joint strength. Harold used to think mashed potatoes were harmless, a comfort from childhood. Soft, warm filling. He had them nearly every night, sometimes with butter, sometimes with gravy, always with a sense of routine. But at 72, something started to change. His legs felt heavier. Some mornings he'd wake up with tingling in his feet. The stairs became harder. Not painful exactly, but unsteady, like his legs were always 1 step behind. He shrugged it off. Getting older, he told himself. Until one afternoon, while reaching for the handrail, he nearly lost his balance. That moment scared him, and it made him pay attention. At a checkup, his doctor asked about diet. Harold mentioned potatoes, lots of them. His doctor nodded, then asked him to try something different for 2 weeks. Just 2. Swap the potatoes for broccoli. Harold was skeptical. Broccoli, really? But he tried it, steamed lightly, tossed with olive oil and lemon. Simple, nothing fancy. And something unexpected happened. Within 14 days, his legs felt less stiff. The numbness started fading. He had more energy in the afternoons. He didn't dread the stairs anymore. Broccoli, it turns out, isn't just a green side dish. It's one of nature's most powerful anti-inflammatory foods. packed with sulforaphane, a plant compound shown in studies from Johns Hopkins University to reduce inflammation at the cellular level, especially in the brain and joints. That means fewer aches, sharper thinking, more stable movement. Sulforaphane helps switch on the body's natural detox pathways. It lowers oxidative stress, and it protects the fragile capillaries that feed your nerves, muscles, and memory centers. Broccoli also contains vitamin K, essential for strong bones, folate, which supports cognition, and fiber, which keeps digestion moving and blood sugar steady. Harold didn't just feel better physically. He said his mind felt clearer, more alert, less fog. And that's no surprise. The inflammation that affects your knees often affects your brain too. It just shows up differently: slower recall, harder focus, mental fatigue. Broccoli helps with all of it, but only if it's prepared right. Don't boil it to mush. That destroys sulforaphane. Steam it lightly, or saute it gently. Even raw, chopped into a salad with a bit of vinaigrette, it still works. 1 cup a day is enough to make a difference. If you've been dealing with tired legs, stiff mornings, or that frustrating mental haze that creeps in after lunch, broccoli might not be the miracle, but it is the start. It's affordable, easy to cook, widely available, and packed with the kind of quiet power your body needs after 60. Because sometimes the strongest shield doesn't come in a pill. It comes in a little green tree, steaming on your plate. Number 3, spinach, the green leaf that delivers oxygen to brain and legs. Frank was an active guy, at least he used to be. He'd take morning walks, drive his grandkids to school, read the paper cover to cover. But after turning 70, he noticed subtle changes. Walking up the driveway left him winded. He paused more often while speaking, trying to find the right word. Reading became a little harder. Letters blurred just enough to make him squint. His legs felt tired sooner. He figured it was just normal aging. But what Frank didn't know is that the real issue wasn't age, it was circulation. And what his body desperately needed was spinach. Spinach is one of the richest sources of natural nitrates, plant compounds that help dilate blood vessels. That means better blood flow to the brain, to the muscles, to the legs that carry you, and to the eyes that guide you. According to research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, dietary nitrates, like those in spinach, improve muscle efficiency and oxygen delivery, especially in older adults, which means more energy during movement and more mental clarity. When blood flow slows, the effects show up everywhere. Your reflexes dull. Your memory slips. You get winded easily. You hesitate at curbs or on stairs, not because you're afraid, but because your body feels disconnected. Spinach helps reconnect those signals. By opening up your blood vessels, it improves coordination and speeds up nerve communication. So your brain talks to your legs faster. And that can be the difference between a steady step and a stumble. But spinach's benefits don't stop there. It's also rich in lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 antioxidants that protect the macula, the part of your retina responsible for sharp central vision. Lose the macula and everyday tasks like reading, driving, recognizing faces become a challenge. Frank didn't want that, so he made a simple shift. Each morning, a small handful of spinach in his smoothie, a few sautéed leaves at lunch. Nothing dramatic, just consistency. Within a few weeks, he felt more grounded. He walked longer, read longer, and something else surprised him. His focus returned. That cloud in his mind, it lifted. Spinach also contains folate, magnesium, and vitamin K nutrients that support nerve health, bone strength, and mood stability. That means fewer aches, steadier balance, and a little more emotional resilience when life throws a curveball. The best part: spinach is easy to prep. Lightly saute it with garlic and olive oil. Toss it into a salad. Blend it raw into a smoothie. Just don't boil it to death, you'll lose those valuable nutrients. You don't need a mountain of greens. Even a small handful a day can support blood flow, strengthen your reflexes, and keep your vision sharp. So if you've been feeling off, slower, foggy, or a little less yourself, spinach might be exactly what your body's been waiting for. Because sometimes one leaf can open up your entire life again. Let's pause for a moment. After hearing about the vegetables to avoid and the ones to embrace, you might be wondering, do I have to overhaul my entire diet? Absolutely not. This isn't about fear. It's not about cutting out everything you enjoy or following some extreme joyless plan. It's about becoming a little more aware and a lot more intentional with what you put on your plate. You don't need to count every calorie. You don't need to eliminate whole food groups. And you certainly don't need to stop enjoying your meals. Instead, it's about choosing wisely, not perfectly. Maybe that means swapping mashed potatoes for roasted carrots, or saying yes to broccoli instead of reaching for fries. Maybe it means trading green peppers for red ones and watching how your body responds. These are small, doable changes, not punishments, not sacrifices. When we're younger, the body's more forgiving. It bounces back faster, absorbs nutrients more easily, and recovers quickly from poor choices. But after 50, your body becomes more honest. It tells you through stiff knees, bloated bellies, or foggy mornings what's helping and what's hurting. The good news, your body also forgives. It responds to better choices even when those choices are simple. You don't need to become a health guru. You don't need a cupboard full of supplements. You just need to listen, make thoughtful swaps, and stay consistent. Food is powerful, but that power doesn't have to be overwhelming. It can be comforting, empowering, even joyful. So the next time you plan a meal, don't ask yourself, what do I have to give up? Ask instead, what can I choose today that helps me feel stronger, steadier, and more alive? Because the path to better health isn't paved with restriction. It's built on smart, loving choices, one bite at a time. Some vegetables we've trusted for years may not be serving us anymore. Others, quiet, unassuming, could be the missing key to sharper thinking, stronger steps, and a life lived with more confidence. The truth, it doesn't take a radical diet, just a few thoughtful changes, and the courage to choose what truly nourishes us after 60. Every meal is a vote for clarity or confusion, for balance or struggle, for strength or slow decline. But here's the beauty, you get to vote again at your next meal. You are not stuck in aging. Your body is still listening, still adapting, still ready to respond to care. So choose foods that speak life into your cells, your memory, your movement. And remember, it's not about perfection, it's about direction. If this video gave you something to think about, share it with someone you love. Because one simple plate can change everything. If this helped you, don't forget to subscribe. Your health is your greatest wealth.